Oh, here we go again. Oh, Sigmund no longer seems to be dead, but slowly becomes alive. I even think he wants to say something. We recall that children in their early age games make no sharp distinction between the animate and the inanimate, and that they are especially fond of treating their dolls as if they were alive. Yeah. This is a quote from your article about the uncanny, and you have used it before. Do you want to explain more precisely what you mean by it? That is, why you repeat it. Is it about another theory of the puppet, or rather about the imagination of the child, animism, and so on? Both, or rather neither nor. I'm more concerned with the problem of the uncanny and the question of repetition. This should actually be of interest to you. In principle, yes. But I must tell you right away that I never really bought your idea of the repetition compulsion. The entire idea of a repetition of the same thing didn't convince me. Yes, I know. This only becomes interesting for you when differences creep into the repetition or get the repetition going in the first place. But that repeating can also be uncanny. That repetitions can thus not only provoke Nietzschean enthusiasm, but also a whole range of sensations and feelings that escaped you. At least for me, the uncanny was not a decisive category of aesthetics. This is not just about aesthetics. That's exactly what my quote about dolls says. For example, there's a whole dimension of temporality. The uncanniness of the doll, which oscillates between the animate and the inanimate, is based on the return to an earlier stage of cognitive development, a stage that one thought had long been overcome, but which continues to exist inside of us. That is why I also say in my essay that this uncanny element is actually nothing new or strange, but something that was long familiar to the psyche and was estranged from it only through being repressed. Thank you for your clear words, Sigmund. The problem for me is exactly in this long, or in German, von alters er. You refer with it to a temporality, true, but in a somewhat unclear, if not ideological, way. In the perspective Felix and I have developed, it becomes possible to take into account the constructedness of this phenomenon of the long. For example, by looking at the actual appearance of animated things in the everyday life of families, machines, media, and so on and so forth.
I'm sorry, Gilles. Right now I can only respond to that with another repetition. We recall that children in the early age games make no sharp distinction between the animate and the inanimate, and that they are especially fond of treating their dolls as if they were alive.
Temporality again. But it's okay as long as you remain a puppet. It actually confirms the approach developed by Felix and myself. We never relied exclusively on temporality, but always looked at the related spaces and things.